Hey everyone, it's Cygnus, and welcome back to All the Magic Spellbound. In this episode, we're going to learn some magical botany with Botania. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, make sure to hit that bell icon so you get notified anytime a new video comes out, or when I start streaming. I stream every Saturday, so come check it out. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it. So Botania. It's not really a magic mod. Well, it sort of is, but if you really start to get into the mod, you'll realize it's definitely a tech mod, and it advertises itself as such. And that's what we're doing today, and we have the book right here called the Lexica Botania. Very easy to make, just put a sapling in with a book. And we're going to be getting into Botania and trying to get really as far as we can, because we have a trick. We can cheese it. There's absolutely no reason for us to have a shortage of mana because we have multiple blaze farms, and blaze farms can be used with a specific flower in Botania to make virtually infinite mana. All we have to do is keep it a steady supply of blazes. Now, we have everything in our inventory that we need to get started and get pretty far into this mod. We may need to grab a couple more things, but let's go over here because I have moved our flower system over here. This is the system that we use to essentially duplicate flowers in Botania. So we have all of our flowers and stuff in our bag, got some blaze rods because we'll be needing those, and some additional items just in case. And we can place any flower here and duplicate it essentially. So we'll be using this if at any point we start to run out of items. But we want to start getting into this mod, so let's go ahead and get started. One of the first things that we're going to want to grab is called the flower pouch. So I have it saved up here somewhere. Maybe I don't. There it is. And it's essentially just a simple bag made out of some wool and a flower. So we can actually make that real quick. There we go. So the way that this works is any flowers that you pick up will be put into the flower pouch. And we don't have to actually concern ourselves with it. Now it can hold up to 1 stack of each flower. It's not going to hold infinite, but it can hold exactly 1 stack of every single flower that we would be collecting. It doesn't hold petals though, sadly. Now we're going to use this to, oh hey, it's getting dark. Neat. We're going to be using the flower pouch basically just as our flower storage because we're going to need a lot of flowers as we go. But you're probably wondering, how are you supposed to get flowers? Now you could go out and go looking for those. Those are some of the magical flowers that we would be using. Or you can make a very simple item. So you can make a form of fertilizer that only creates Botania flowers. I believe, yeah, it's called the floral fertilizer, and it's very cheap to make. And if you have that set up back there, you can make it using dye. Now, we've talked about very briefly how you can use Botania to make infinite dye, but we'll go in here. I have some dye. We're going to make this in our inventory. There we go. So this is floral fertilizer. This floral fertilizer allows us to just grow an endless number of flowers, provided that we have the floral fertilizer. Now, in order to get that dye, you can use this simple setup over here to duplicate the flowers. And then you use the pestle and mortar to turn the petals that you get from putting the flowers in your inventory, or that you get from putting the flowers in the crafting grid like that. You can then turn those petals into dyes. Let's grab these to show you. You can turn it directly into dye. And once you have the dye, you can then use it to make the bone meal, which you can then use to make more flowers. So very, very useful stuff, but we're not going to be using that just yet because we actually aren't concerned with the flowers. We have at least one of every type, which is all we need to make virtually infinite. And because we have a funny little item called the Essence of Raging Life, even if we run out of bone meal, we can still make more flowers. It'll just be a little slower. Let's go ahead and start on this mod. So first and foremost, we're going to need to make the Petal Apothecary. Very simple item, just need some slabs and a petal. And we're going to start this all going on over here. So we place that there, and then we can place a water bucket in it. Now we're going to use this to make 2 things, the Pure Daisy and the Endoflame. The Endoflame is what we need. That Endoflame is what's going to allow us to essentially infinitely produce mana. So let's go ahead and grab some flower stuff. So we're going to convert that into mystical brown petals. We have our red petals. What else did we need? Light gray. All right, let's grab some light gray. Somewhere in here, there it is. And we got some light gray petals. We're gonna need some more of that. So let's actually do that. And we can pull the bone meal from our inventory. And we're going to put it in the right dispenser. Like so. Now, if we break that, it's gonna grow that up. And we can use our shears that we have in our little ender chest with efficiency on breaking. And break a bunch of these real fast. And you'll see we've started getting more tall, mystical, light gray flowers, which makes more petals, which means we can just do that again, repeat the process, and we'll do this, I think just one more time like this. We'll finish this round and then we'll go and make the thing we need to make. So just zoom through that real fast, and there we go. Now we can take the petals, there we go. So what we need to do is throw this in here, and what we need to do is just throw this in here. Shouldn't be too difficult. There's a fire over there. And let's see. Is there a specific order? There's not. So we just light gray, red, 2 brown, and now we just need to activate it with some seeds. So let's go ahead and... Did we bring any seeds? It's fine. Let's just go grab those. I actually forgot about the seeds. Alright, and we're back with some seeds. So now we just throw the seeds in, and it's going to make the flower that we need. I believe it got put directly into our inventory. There it is. The Endoflames. So we're going to make a couple more of these. Just need to make sure we keep the water filled, and I will be right back. I think I'm going to make about 4 of them. So I'll make 3 more, and then we'll be back and continue where we leave off. So see you in a minute. Alright, so we have 4 of these little Endoflames now. So we're going to place these around the area, just in a simple little pattern. The pattern itself isn't too important. We just want to make sure that they have enough space to do their thing and not interfere with each other. And that one's in the wrong place. Grab it back, pull it from our inventory. The backpacks are useful, but they can be a little tiny bit annoying sometimes. Okay, so we've set these up. And we need to put some light down. Let's do that real fast with our infinite light shovel. Still an amazing thing. So glad I found it. And so what we're going to do for these is a very simple setup. And this will only take me a second, and I'll show you how it's done. So we're going to build up here. Place a... Oh, wrong way. And we're going to place the dropper that we have right here. We're going to place this facing down, and then we're going to set a hopper here, just because I like there to be a bit of a buffer, and then we're going to set this barrel on top, and in this barrel, we're going to fill it with blaze rods. So we can go ahead and break this, and you'll see what starts to happen almost immediately. So it's going to go down. And apparently that's not going to work. Maybe we need... Oh, right. We can use a pipe from Create to actually do this. Let's go grab our chute, and I'll be right back. And that actually should be sufficient for what we need. Now, funny enough, when I've done this in the past, it was perfectly sufficient to do what I was doing before. The droppers did work, but I guess some things have changed, and they no longer work. Alright, so we should be able to put these in here, and it's going to start dropping those on the ground and feeding it to the Endoflame. And that Endoflame is going to start making mana, but we need somewhere to put it. So we need to grab ourselves some white flowers and white petals and use those to make a special flower called the Pure Daisy. Because we're going to need some living stone if we want to be able to store the mana that's being produced. Because right now it's just sort of lackadaisically tossing it down. And it's, well, it's not doing anything, it's just creating mana, and we're not able to use it. So let's go ahead and get some white flowers, and I'll be right back once we have a suitable amount to make the daisies that we need. Alright, so we have a quite literal plethora of mystical white petals, so we're going to be using those to make the pure daisies. And those pure daisies are going to be very vital, and we're going to need a lot of them, so I'm probably going to make about 4 just so we can set them out and have the materials that they making pretty much all the time. So we do 4 white petals and then seed. And we're going to do that 3 more times, and I'll be right back once it's done. Alright, so we've made our 4 daisies, and we're going to grab from our inventory real quick some stone and some wood. Doesn't matter what kind, just needs to be able to be grabbed. So we're going to set this down, and we're going to set up a little structure around it. I guess you can call it a structure. That just looks like this. So this is going to start converting the stone and wood into living stone and living wood. So we'll do this again right here and set that there. And we can just repeat this process a couple of times to make sure that we're making plenty of this material, because we're going to need a lot of both of these. So we might at some point in the future even set up some automation to get this going a lot quicker. So we're going to have to wait this out though, because we actually can't progress until we have these. So in the meantime, I'm going to set up these 4 to all receive blazes, and then I'll be back once all of this is turned into the material we need. Alright, so we ended up doing a couple of batches because it was much faster than I remember it being. So we managed to get a few sets, well, roughly almost a stack of both of the items that we need. So just shy of a stack, 1 more cycle and we would end up with a stack. So this is actually very convenient because this stuff is expensive. But we're going to make ourselves a couple of mana pools. Let's make 4 of them. Now we're going to set these all 4 right there in the middle, and we've already gotten our blaze rods, and we're going to start filling these so they'll start depositing the blaze rods. While that's happening, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a wand of the forest. Very simple thing to make. Just need a couple sticks of living wood and then some petals. The actual petal that we use doesn't matter a whole lot. Let's go ahead and open that, get our get our wand of the forest, and we can now see how much mana is going to be in these as they're filled up. Now, what we can also see is that these Endoflames are going to require a little block right there that you probably don't know what that is, and that's because they need a way to get the mana over to the mana pool. That little thing is called a mana spreader, and it just costs gold and some living wood and a flower of our choice. And we don't have the gold on us, so we're going to run back and grab that, then come back and make the mana spreaders. Alright, and now that we're back, we can go ahead and make the mana spreaders. They're not too expensive. We're going to make 4 of them, because they're going to need to all be in the general vicinity of these flowers. We can set them like that. Now if we hover this, we should be able to get these to go to specific pools. Now let me see. I will need to double check something though, because I want to make sure that we don't have this system a little messed up. So I did end up remembering that this setup needs to be done a very specific way. So the flowers need to have the mana spreaders directly above them. I believe just 2 blocks is fine, but let's see. There we go. So we have to connect them up to the mana spreaders. I believe we could have done this with the other setup, but this just looks prettier to me. So now we can start feeding these things blaze rods, and you'll see if it's connected to one of those, it should start burning the blaze rods. So each of these will do so, and we'll want to start stocking this up with blazes because they'll eat through them pretty dang quick if you let them. And that will make us an insanely high amount of mana, and we're going to need all of that mana because this mod gets expensive quick. Now what we can do to increase the efficiency of this is surround that little area with these Endoflames and have it all go into the mana spreaders, which will then fill these mana pools very, very quickly. So we're probably going to set that up real fast and then come back. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these Endoflames, and then we'll be back to get this process going. Alright, now we've got this set up. It's much more efficient, and it'll go through those blazes or blaze rods a lot quicker than it would otherwise. So now we should be able to start moving on with the next steps. So if we want to, we can actually upgrade these mana spreaders because, well, They're a little slow right now. They collect a lot of mana, but they don't transport it that fast. And we could definitely improve that by adding lenses. And we also may want to improve this because we want there to be a constant high storage of mana in the middle there. But we'll get to that a little bit later. For now, we're going to get into a couple different items that we can make, including this mana steel, as well as a mana pearl, which we'll need, and mana diamonds. All of those can be made by throwing the respective item into a mana pool. So let's go and grab those. We're going to grab some ender pearls, we're going to grab some iron, and we're going to grab some diamond, because we're going to start making all of those, and we're actually going to need quite a lot of them, just overall throughout the mod. So we'll see how many we can make. So let's get our diamonds, let's take 12 of them. We'll take our iron as well, we'll just take a fourth of a stack, and we will take 16 ender pearls. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and head back. Now this is also how we'll make the dead saplings or the dead trees. This is also how we'll make the dead shrubs for Evilcraft, which we ran into a problem with yesterday. So now we just, and you'll see it's cooked up all the blaze rods already, so now we can throw that in, and it's going to immediately turn it into a mana diamond. So we're going to turn off auto pickup, and we're just going to chuck in all of these diamonds, and it's going to eventually run out of mana. So then we can, see, now it doesn't have enough mana, and it's not going to let us convert any more items. But we can do a lot more with iron, and hopefully with the ender pearls we can make at least a few. Okay, so we got 3, and we can continue stocking this up with blaze rods. We brought the blaze mesh for just that purpose, and it's going to continue to feed these flowers. So let's toss a stack in there, toss a stack in there, and toss a stack in there. One more stack right there. So, of course, we're going to need to farm up a lot more blaze rods, but that'll come with time. And we're just going to keep filling those up. Now that we have a mana infused item, we can actually use that to go ahead and just pretty quickly make some new things. So, though we do need a bit more living stone, so let's go ahead and do that real fast. We can actually just set up a line like so. Do this to get all of the living stone we need. We'll fast forward a little bit so you guys don't have to sit here and wait with me. All right, and it's all converted, so let's get our pickaxe and break it all up. Now we're going to be making a runic altar. This runic altar is going to allow us to make a very important series of items. And in fact, without it, we're not going to be able to progress too far, but we're going to be able to make, with the runic altar, things called runes. Runes require a bit of mana, which can be obtained just from these mana pools, and we can actually link the mana pools to it if we want to. But it should be able to pull just passively. In order to make each of the runes, we need a specific set of items, including like mana powder and fishing rods, nether wart, gunpowder, a bunch of very interesting things in order to make these runes. But these runes are going to be vital, because without them, we won't be able to progress with this mod, and without them, we're not going to be able to make the things that we need to make this mod it's the most useful that it can be. But before we progress with that, we are going to make one quick little thing that is just so important to make, and it's called the mana tablet. Now we should just be able to chuck this in there and it will start to fill up with mana. It may take a little bit, but it should be able to fill up. So that's going to be it for this episode. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and go ahead and leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions or ideas on what I should do next. In the next episode, we're going to be learning the true power of nature through nature's aura. But until then, see you all next time. Bye-bye.